It shocks me how many people buy online plans without ever talking to an architect, a designer, an engineer, a contractor. Just woke up one day and started typing. Modern contemporary transitional 4-bedroom with open concept, a butler's pantry, and a walk-in closet. Voila, you got a house. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But most times, you bought yourself a bunch of problems. Online plans are a marketing tool. May look beautiful, but plans aren't meant to be beautiful. They are directions. Directions for men mostly. Sorry, ladies, but that's what I find on the job site. So it's men. Men putting together IKEA dressers, for instance. So we want those directions to be clear. So let's talk about whether you should buy them, the pros, the cons, the design disasters I'm seeing. First up on the grand tour of house plans, we have a lovely barn dominium. Simple roof line, square or rectangular exterior. We're off to a good start. Let's check out the inside. Oversized car shop, 3-car garage, covered porch, living room, dining room, kitchen, into the mudroom pantry and out to the garage, down the hall, first bath, laundry, master bath, second bedroom. What do we like about this plan? Well, we like that it's simple, clean, easy to build, and it doesn't have the long hallways associated with a lot of barn-door designs in order to get to the shop. But let's go red here. What we don't like is when we come in from the shop into the house, we're coming right into the kitchen with muddy boots, with dirty clothes. And if we need to get to the laundry room, we've got to go through the entire house. Second problem is this laundry. It's located in the middle of the house, which means this dryer vent has got to go up to the roof and out somewhere. If anybody has ever changed a dryer vent hose, think about all of that linear feet that you've got to clean. It's not a good idea. We want dryers to vent directly to the outside, directly to the garage so that we can service them. Being a designer for 30 years plus, most of the plans I see are custom in the fact that they've been designed for one site, for one family, one time. They are not mass produced. But that's not the case with clients I'm seeing these days that are coming to me with $1 million plans, a mass-produced set that fits lots of people. I understand the popularity. By the time you add in design costs, I ain't cheap. Revisions, you all know that if you've been in the design process, the amount of time and money and aggravation revising your plans. The expediting, that's the getting of the permits. Going to your building department, waiting for hours, filling out BS paperwork, hoping that the person that you talk to knows what they're talking about and sends you to the right desk. That's expediting, and it costs money. You can easily spend $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 on a set of plans. Even on this recent renovation, we spent almost $10,000 on the plans, on expediting, on permitting and inspections. So I understand the appeal of $700 to $1,400. Boom, hit the button like you're buying a sofa on Wayfair and you've got plans. But do you? Take a look at this barn door. It's got a fairly square rectangular shape, a little bit of interest in the roof. Here's the inside, so we see we're keeping it simple. Kitchen over here, dining over here. Great room. I get it. This is vaulted here. Is it vaulted? No, it is not. So there's no good reason for this. If we put, let's see, let's try it again. Closet here, door here, and then this is the wall. So then maybe the sofa goes this way. A little sofa back table here, a little privacy, division from the public spaces. Another chair, TV can go here. Big windows along the front. That works. Bathroom's not bad on this one. Closet's not bad. Master, the only thing, this is 6 linear feet of storage you lose when you add a door. Not to mention the amount of dust you allow into your master closet. Don't do it. Trust me. There are some benefits to stock plans. If you don't know what you're doing and you've never space planned and laid out public and semi-private and private spaces and how they all work together and the mechanicals that make them all work, it's not that easy. I know it looks easy, but it's not that easy. Space planning is like playing Tetris for humans. It is hours of my day moving a toilet this way, a doorway this way, a hallway a little bit more, cheat 6 inches off a closet. It is the hardest part of designing a house, is getting all of the pieces, all of the needs and wants into a piece of paper. Online plans, when you type in 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it's kind of a nice starting point. You do that over and over again. You see lots of plans. Then you've got a good base for what you might want to do in your own plans. These plans also market themselves as basically buy and build. You take the plans, boom, you're ready to go. You don't need months and months of revisions and design meetings and all kinds of stuff. Doesn't take that long if you've got a good designer, but it does speed up the process, or does it? Let's take a look at some of these plans and see how speedy that process might just be. Here's the Rosslyn 4-bedroom French country. Lots going on the roof, lots going on the elevation for interest. So let's take a look in the inside. 2-car garage, another 1-car garage. Come in through the mudroom, we've got the kitchen, great room, dining room, nice big opening between the foyer and the great room, foyer and the dining. Bedroom 2, 3, 4 with a shared bath and linen. 3 walk-in closets, although this one looks a little suspect at 5'2". 5'2", that's not a real walk-in. On to the big problems I see. First up, the kitchen at 12 feet wide, 2 feet for your countertops, 4 feet for the clearance. This looks to be a 4x9 island, so now we're at 10 feet off that 12. That leaves 2 feet for these stools to pull out, to sit here comfortably. It doesn't. That means those stools are going to eat into your great room. The other thing eating into your great room is this enormous gas fireplace, 22 inches at a minimum. So now your 19-foot great room just became 15 feet without blinking an eye. Another major consideration in these plans is the ceiling heights. Look at this. Great room, ceiling height 12 feet. Bedroom 2, 10 feet. Dining, a tray ceiling. We're back to 10-foot ceilings in the kitchen. We've got a vault in the bathroom, and we've got a vault in the master. These are complicated engineering truss plans that are not included in the plans that you buy. Generally, you're not going to get a complete set of plans, and even if you do, they're probably not going to be the electrical, HVAC, and plumbing that meets the code for your area, that meets the demands for your climate. What's included in these plans? Front, rear, and side elevations, floor plans, foundation, roof, building section details, and electrical pages. What's not? Mechanical, plumbing, or truss drawings. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. This is where the work is in designing a house to stand up. Now, in case you didn't know from my accent, I grew up on Long Island, the home of the original subdivision, the very first development. We can thank the Levitt brothers and Moses, Robert Moses, for these. These plans were designed post-World War II to be affordable, to be efficiently designed, and to be easy to construct and to move in and live there. They had simple roof lines, they had stacked plumbing, so bathrooms and kitchens were near each other, laundry rooms backed up on the mudroom. They made sense, simple materials, able to duplicate over and over again. Mass-produced housing, kind of like a boxable of yesteryear. The translation in that is that when you build simply, it's cheaper to build. The problem is the online plans I'm seeing today are nowhere near simplified. They are as complicated as the day is long. They also don't include your stamp, your expediting fees, all of the inspections, pre-construction. That cost savings goes right out the window. We have to keep in mind that these online plan services, they're people looking to make a living. So these plans are marketing tools. They're meant to look really pretty, but are they going to work? They play to our need for bouginess in the 80s and 90s in Texas and Florida with architectural details scaled down on tiny little bungalows with giant fake Palladian windows, or a row of arches with Corinthian columns like the Medicis in Florence. It doesn't work. The grand details, the McMansionness of some of these plans is ridiculous, and it's going to cost you a fortune. And on that note, for a house where the roof line changes and the elevations change, is going to make your gutters a nightmare, your roof maintenance a nightmare. Those little alcoves, those little bump in and outs are going to become a vortex for leaves, for snowdrifts, for spiders if you're in the South. Stock plans are meant to be easy to maintain. Keeping the floor plan simple, the exterior walls like a nice rectangle, you can keep the cost down for maintenance. But as you can see in some of these plans, they've blown that right out of the water. The roof changes, the elevation changes, the ceiling height changes, windows that are 2 stories high. All of these grand details to sell you on these plans make it a lot harder to take care of this house. Sometimes architectural character becomes expensive leaks, windows that are impossible to dress or clean, or noisy, cavernous spaces that echo like a garage. We want grandness where it counts, where it makes us feel the volume of the space, sure. But silly details that reference big old mansions sometimes don't make sense on a 1-story bungalow. Be realistic, have grandness where it counts. Now, as I said, one of the biggest problems with these online plans is they're not going to pass code. They're not going to get through plan review. They are not going to get stamped. You're going to have wacky rules, soil testing, all kinds of inspections and engineering reports that need to be in your plans in order for them to get reviewed and passed. And most engineers and architects are not going to take someone else's plans and put their stamp on it and say that they are legally responsible for your house standing up when some Yahoo online designed them that they don't even know. That's one of the major difficulties with these plans is you can buy them, but then you're going to pay the local person to redraw them in order for them to be comfortable and keep their license. Or you're going to find someone who's willing to stamp plans and then create the rest of the sheets that you need to meet HVAC and electrical, or to run through and check that these plans are correct. And I just haven't found that to be the case. Now, I can't believe that I didn't get to this first, but the layouts suck. I mean, let's be honest. When you design for everyone, it's kind of like my iPhone camera. It's a great camera. That's what everybody says. It really isn't. What it is a great overall picture taker. If you tweak the settings and you go into your iPhone, you can make this a great camera. But as it comes from Apple, it does the average of everyone's preferences. And that's how it takes your picture. Here's a barn door plan, and these are becoming increasingly popular. One of the things that I like about them is they do have a simple exterior. You'll notice it's a rectangle. Fairly simple roof lines keep the costs in line. But as you'll see, the plans start to look the same. Big giant space. This one does not have an attached garage, but they tend to have long hallways. 2 masters. Oh, they kind of gave up on this bathroom. I don't even know. This is ridiculous. Same thing over here. And you can't get out to the backyard. You've got this clear through vaulted space, and I've got to go through my laundry room to get to the backyard. Doesn't make sense. Dining is enormous. What are you going to do with 24 feet across in your dining room? Play ping pong? 28 by 18, so it's really a bowling alley of sorts with no coat closet. Instead of bitching, let's see what we can fix. First up, I don't even know what to do here, but at a bare minimum, put your toilet over here. What do we got? 8 feet across. These will fit opposite each other. Have a nice big vanity. Boom, boom, done. Here's another barn door. You see the same kind of roof line, same rectangular layout. However, this one's got a little bit of a better layout in that we don't have that one giant room. We get a little bit of privacy in the kitchen from the hallway, the entry hall. However, again, no coat closet. What's going on here? Master bedroom. The door. Bam, right there. This is bad chi. Don't waste your time with these walls. That's 6 inches of storage. You could get a bigger vanity. You're trying to give the toilet privacy. I get it. It makes it feel tighter. Opt out of that. Same thing over here. Bigger vanity. Do you need a tub and a shower? The fridge is very far from the sink. Might be nice for a little prep sink. A lot of wasted space here. And look at this hallway. Tremendous waste of space. This could, how about some storage for these poor kids? A linen closet might be nice that opens this way. Then I'd probably flip the whole bathroom. So the linen would be back here away from the public spaces. Make this hallway smaller. How do we do that? Oh, angle the doors. All kinds of stuff you could do. This is utilities in the center of the house. That is fire. We don't like that. These plans are not clairvoyant. They don't know your site. They don't know your views. They don't know where the trees are. They don't know where your Karen neighbor is. They are not specific to you. When you design for everyone, you're really designing for no one. Design is turning it over to an everything sandwich. Here's what's included. Front and rear elevations, floor plans, foundation, roof plan, building section, and detail pages and electrical pages. I would argue that there's 6 pages of those, 4 of those are incomplete. And if you have the good fortune to design your own home or to renovate a home you live in, you want to take every opportunity to make every inch of that house just for you. Forget about resale. They're going to tear it apart anyway. So, should you buy online plans? Maybe, maybe not. I actually think it could be a good starting point if the plans come with a CAD file. So in this plan, PDF single build 2400 and the CAD single build is 4500. You have an architect or an engineer or whoever's local that can get your plan stamped that will accept those plans and put their stamp on it and make the modifications and revisions to make that plan work for you. Then it might be an affordable way to get a custom plan. But buying plans is not the same thing as designing a house. There's a cookie cutter element to it. So you've got to go through those plans with a fine-tooth comb. You're going to have revisions. You're going to have work done on them by a local architect or engineer anyway. So make those changes. The cheapest plans can become expensive if they don't fit your site, if they don't fit your lifestyle, your climate, your local zoning law. And if there's poorly designed, there may be construction problems that show up later on. You have to live there, and bad layouts are forever, or at least until the renovation. And if you need help with your layouts or lighting, I do that. It's in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.